in 2017, a 10-year-old girl called Ellie lost her friend Patrick to epilepsy, and he was just 16 years old at the time. Well, Ellie wrote to the Queen and asked her to do something that would help bring about a cure for epilepsy so that others wouldn't have to suffer.
That's right. The Queen wrote to the Epilepsy Society and asked if they could help. The society, of which she was a patron, are only now allowed to reveal what Her Majesty did to support Ellie and the Epilepsy Society. And I'm pleased to say that Andy James, the Chief Financial Officer of that society, joins us now. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. I think we're going to hear more of these sort of fascinating stories, these little insights of the magic that the Queen was working behind the scenes that maybe people didn't know about, the strings she was pulling to do good. So explain to us, we heard a little bit about the story. So what happened in your case?
Yeah, that's exactly right. In 2017, a young girl called Ellie wrote to the Queen asking for help, effectively, because of her friend Patrick, who died of epilepsy. And she shared that with us. And although, as you say, although she wanted to keep that quiet, she worked with us behind the scenes and our fundraising team to put a really big appeal together to raise money that has been ploughed back into the organisation to help with research into epilepsy, its causes and its treatment. So, as you say, I'm sure there'll be loads of stories like that coming out over the coming days and weeks. But yeah, instrumental in helping us put a really good, successful fundraising appeal together to help those the specific families involved.
Of course, the Queen's uncle, I was reading this morning, Prince John, he had epilepsy and he died from a seizure at the age of 13. So she will have had a personal connection to this condition as well.
Yeah, I'm sure that's right, yes. So, she was an active patron for us, and I'm sure that personal connection had a big part to play. She came and visited us in 1985 on our site here in Chalfont-St-Peter, and we had other royal visits as well over the time. So, she supported many charities over her lifetime, but she stuck with us for her 70 years on the throne, and we're deeply grateful for that. And it plays a big part, I think, in the people who work here and the people that we then work with. To know that you have a figurehead like the Queen at the top of the organisation supporting you, it makes a big difference on a day-to-day and a year-to-year basis for the people who work here and the people we work with.
How important is it to yourself and people who work in the third sector, the charity sector, to have the support of, not just the head of state, but other members of the royal family? Because, of course, we know people like Princess Anne, the Princess Royal. She is associated or is patron of over 300 charities. So they do an immense amount of work, don't they, other members of the royal family actually supporting charities. How hopeful are you that, that kind of work will absolutely continue as we have a new head of state and as things move on to that new era?
Yeah, we're very hopeful that we'll continue to have a royal patron. We'll wait to see how that unfolds and what process there is to go through. Clearly, there's a lot on with the royal household and associated people at the moment. So, we'll wait and see. But actually, one thing of interest is that recent research we've been doing, there is quite a strong link between epileptic seizures and the temperature. So climate change is going to have a part to play in epilepsy. So for that reason, we're very hopeful that Prince Charles will be interested in part of our future. But I'm sure. We're hopeful, very much so, that we will continue to have a royal patron, because it does make a big difference to the work we do, and as I say, that the people who work here.
It's a really difficult condition to live with, isn't it, Andy? My ex-husband had a brain injury, and that then caused him epilepsy as a result of a traumatic injury. A lot of people don't realise that can be the consequence, that you think epilepsy is something that you're born with, but actually you can acquire it. Where are we in terms of research for causes and also for medication? Because I know that a lot of people end up being on medication for life, actually.
Yes. People don't realise probably that 600,000 people in the UK have epilepsy, and of those, 200,000 have uncontrolled seizures. So a big part of our work is putting the right drug regimes together for treatment, so people can control those seizures. But also, we were one of the first organisations to use MRI scans to look at the physical state of the brain, because you're absolutely right, it isn't just necessarily something you're born with. It can happen as a result of trauma and so on. And we're also looking, the current work is looking at the genomic sequences of people who are affected by epilepsy, because there are genetic markers in there too as well. So, it's our mission to make epilepsy an irrelevance, and there's a long way to go, but we're making really great strides in our relationships with UCL and UCLH to make that true. But yeah, so we're making good progress, but there's still much work to be done.
Well, look, Andy, thank you so much for joining us and sharing that incredible story there about the Queen with us. Andy James there, he's the Chief Financial Officer of the Epilepsy Society.
So loads of you be getting in touch with us this morning with your memories of meeting late Queen Elizabeth II, or your views of the last... For how many days are we now? I think she passed away on Thursday.
A week.
Yeah, it is.
Does it feel like
it is a week?
It feels much, much longer.
Well, Annette has said, can you please ask why MPs...